the next level.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Coach Tiffany, Editor-in-Chief of Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine, elevating your mind, body, and spirit. Today, I am taking center stage on the Own It Publishing platform with a couple of my amazing contributing writers. We're talking about getting in alignment and really getting into spiritual alignment with yourself and really being able to find balance. So I'm going to go ahead and bring these amazing women on in. Hello, hello. Good morning, Steph. Hey, good morning, Teresa. How are you ladies this morning? I'm so glad to have you. So I just want to take a moment. I know there have been, y'all have been on quite a few shows, so I know you've all already seen them, but they're going to go ahead and introduce themselves just in case you haven't. So Stephanie, please introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, and just a little bit about your business and what you do.
My name is Stephanie Malench. My company is Write by Steph. I am a full-service professional business writing and editing agency located from the suburbs of St. Louis, Missouri. I'm actually on the Illinois side of the river in Edwardsville. And I do everything from copywriting, content for websites. I do blogs. I do traditional email newsletters, I edit books, I edit college papers, I do letters of referral and recommendation. Whatever it is that you would normally ask ChatGPT to do, I can do it with the human touch.
Nice. Love it. Well, welcome, Stephanie, and thank you so much. And Teresa, please.
Hi, welcome, and thank you for having me. I'm Teresa Palmer. I'm a nurse practitioner, or advanced practice nurse. And my expertise is holistic cardiology. And what I do is I bridge the science of traditional medicine with the either Eastern, if you want to call it Eastern, traditions and or the spiritual side of medicine. And I like to call it that I'm at that crossroads where science meets the soul. So that's how I like to describe my practice. I've been doing holistic cardiology for at least 24 years. And I really believe in this whole person, mind, body, spirit working together, actually mind, body, soul working together, because you can't just have a physical, a mental, or a spiritual, soulful part. It all goes together. So, and I'm really excited to talk about this topic because it's one of the cornerstones of what I do with clients. So.
Yes, I'm so excited. So welcome. Thank you so much, Teresa. So today we are talking about, spiritual alignment. And a lot of times when people hear spiritual, just aligning with spirit, right? They think of it as, it's a religious thing and it really, in all actuality, it is an energetic thing. We are all energetic beings. And it's about finding balance, right? As Teresa just said, the mind, body, and soul, right? Mind, body, and spirit, they all run hand in hand. So today we're going to talk a little bit about things that you need to maybe look at, like how you'll be able to know when you're a little out of whack. And need to do some things to kind of get yourself, back in that alignment. And we're going to give you some tips on how, we, have put some things into practice to be able to find that alignment ourselves. Stephanie, let's go ahead and start with you. So, when you're looking at, just being in that full alignment, right, with all aspects, mind, body, and soul or spirit. What is it that how do you know when you're not in alignment, and what are some of the things that you do to bring yourself back into alignment or balance?
I think for me, the biggest way to know that I am not in alignment is I am just totally flaking out. Things will go in one ear, out the other. I can't put two thoughts together. I'm jittery. I'm high strung. Or at the other end, I'm just ready to collapse with exhaustion. So I usually try to balance those things out with at night when I'm sleeping, because that's when your body does most of the healing. I finally got my Himalayan salt lamp back up and running. The light bulb in that had passed out. And then for the past almost year, I have been listening to natural sounds at night when I go to sleep. YouTube has a lot of high frequency radio sound stations in the 432 hertz range and up above. And those are supposed to heal your body. I don't know if they're healing my body, but they definitely put me to sleep fast.
And that's again where you do heal, right? Is when we sleep. And I love that you've incorporated the Himalayan salt lamp, because those are, I'm gonna tell y'all, those are just magical. They really do cleanse the air in the room. If you put enough of, the Himalayan salt in a room, I go to Himalayan salt caves and do the sessions there. And I'll tell you, when I come out, I can just take a deeper breath, and my body doesn't feel so, as you said, Stephanie, jittery and things like that. You really can find that calm, and again, just getting some rest, right? Getting some that's something that is free for us to do, right? Just being able to just stop and lay down and just rest. And we definitely owe ourselves that. So thank you so much, Stephanie. So Teresa, please, I know this is your jam right here. So please share with us just, how we can, how like we can see ourselves in that disalignment, and, what are some of the things that we can do to be able to get back in that balance or alignment?
Yeah, as you had said, we're all energy. And if you look at us on the crudest level, we're energy. Our heart is the largest energy field in our human body. We have cells, there's the exchange of ions, which are chemical reactions, there's vibration. So, our body, we are energy, the universe is energy, everything around us, in us, is energy. So, in order to be aligned, we have to harness that energy. And I had done a few months back, I had done an article for Own It magazine called Chaos Magic. And I'm actually going to expand on that, because there is so much chaotic energy. And I think that energy is going to continue. And I say that because there's a lot going on in the world. There's also a lot going on in astrology with the planets, and the planets emit energy. Like I said, everything is all energy. So when you've got, right now, we've got a more intense energy in the atmosphere, and that translates into more intense energy in our body. So how do we harness the energy? The first thing is to not get involved with everything that's going on around you. And that means getting to know yourself, what you believe, what is true for you, having an opinion, but not getting caught up in that chaos. And if you look right now, you'll see there's a lot of chaos. People have opinions, people are posting different things, and it's easy to get drawn into that. But really, you could have an opinion, but don't get drawn into what's going on. So, how do you harness that energy for your own good? The way you do it is, number one, with your breath. If you take a deep breath in and then slowly exhale, you're grounding your body. And once you start to ground your body, you put your body in alignment. Your body knows what to do. We were all meant to be in balance. When we're not, it's us that are taking ourselves out of balance, either by what we're thinking what we're feeling. So the first thing to do is really take that energy and ground it. Okay, what's ever going on out there is going on out there. Start to use it for your own good. So once you balance your energy in your body, you could start to do good things with that powerful energy. Supposing you want to write a book, supposing you want to start a business, supposing you want to exercise, anything that you want to do, harness that energy and use it creatively for yourself, and even if you can, for the good of mankind. So it's a matter of grounding ourselves, of taking that breath, of taking in the energy, but balancing it in the body, and then using that energy for our good or for the good of everyone. Some things that also help with that. We talked about breathing. That's so important because breathing connects us to our heart. Our heart connects to the vagus nerve. Boom, we turn off the stress hormones. And it's the stress hormones that cause the problem with all that chaotic energy because we react, the hormones start going, and then we become imbalanced. We become um, anxious, nervous, stressed, any of those things. So, number one, the breathing. Number two, spend time with yourself, get to know yourself. And you could do that by just sitting still. And if any thoughts come in your head, which they will because we're human, you just thank the thoughts for coming, but don't dwell on them. Stay in the present moment. If you don't like to sit quietly, which some people don't, you could do any kind of movement. And that could be taking a walk. And by that, I mean it's fun to take a walk and chat with neighbors or a group, but you need that alone time. So you take your own walk, you look at what's around you, what's going on, what is in that immediate environment. Are there flowers, are there plants, are there animals in that environment? Listening to the birds, just being very present. If you do anything such as weightlifting or pilates, concentrate on the movements. Don't look at what other people are doing. Don't put pressure on yourself to compete. You're just being present in that moment, working those muscles. I do yoga. Every morning I do yoga and I sit quietly in meditation. And I think yoga is the best form of spiritual practice, exercise that there is because it works every muscle in the body. It keeps us in the present moment because yoga is non-competitive. So you're not worried about what you could do or how you could do it. It's simply just doing it and being present while you're doing it. And that helps again to put your body into alignment. So when you're out of balance, breathe. Take a few moments to be with yourself, whether that means that you're sitting quietly, lying quietly, doing some sort of movement, or taking a walk, or doing a couple yoga postures, and being present with yourself. Then you take that energy that's all around us, and it's not causing you chaos. It's being creative and you're using that energy. And that's actually what alchemy is. There was a book many years ago about the alchemist, and a lot of people thought it was about magic. And there's nothing magical about it. It's just taking what's out there, bringing it into yourself, but using it for your own good. And I think that's just so important. In fact, I'm going to expand for December on the article for Own It and for Phoenix Fitness on chaos magic and harnessing this energy because I don't see our energy changing anytime soon. We're going to have, there's a lot going on, both, you know, on our planet and in the universe, that this energy is going to continue for a while. So if we learn how to work with it, we could bypass the anxiety, the stress, uh, also listening to what our heart is telling us and getting our heart and our brain on the same page. Because the brain is a programmed response, it's logical. Your heart is your intuitive, your inner knowing. We all have that. We were born with it. You look at animals, they use their intuition all the time. As human beings, as we grow older, we're conditioned to listen to our brain. We're told to be logical, to do anything that's logical or what's outside us and not listen to ourselves. So that's the other piece of it, of learning to listen to what your heart is telling you. What is your body telling you? Do you feel tension any place? Do you feel an upset stomach, a headache, ringing in the ears? All these things, even though they're physical signs, also have to do with how we are feeling and how our body is balanced. So I will turn it back over to you, Tiffany, because I could talk all day.
And I can listen to you all day long, Teresa, because you are so on point. And I just want to say something. You had mentioned, the breathing. And, I was speaking to someone recently and they were, telling us like, we need to learn how to breathe again, right? Because even when we breathe, we're shallow breathing. So we need to when you're breathing and your chest is going up and down, that's not breathing. You need to breathe from that diaphragm and really let that air come through your body and really work the way it's supposed to. And we don't do that. So I think even just being conscious and aware of the way you're breathing can most definitely bring you into that alignment, right?
Yeah, because we don't have to think about breathing. Breathing is automatic. It just happens. It's part of the autonomic nervous system, which is the nervous system that we don't have to think about. Things happen, digestion happens, breathing happens, heartbeat happens. That's fine and well, but we need to pay attention to it. And as often as you can during the day, I recommend just being conscious of how you're breathing. Take that deep breath in. Hold it if you can for a few seconds and then exhale. And as you do that, you'll feel your body calming down. When we get tense and anxious and when we try to do too many things, juggle too many things, we just breathe. And simply we're getting air into our body, which we need that air in our lungs. But we could do so much more with that breath. We could actually help balance our body and actually guide the energy where we need it when we really learn how to breathe. And breathing is just so important to do. There's different types of breathing. That could be a whole other thing.
That'd be a whole other segment.
And out makes you aware of how you're breathing. It makes you aware of how you're feeling. And that's so important. We need to get conditioned now to listen to our bodies, listen to our soul, our heart, and really put everything together. And in that way, we become in charge of not only our health and well-being, but of our life. And I always say, regardless of the condition or situation, there's always something we can do to help ourselves. And that has to be learned. Because even though it was instinctual, like it is in animals, we've been socially conditioned to get out of that, to get out of our heart into our head and just stay focused in our head and achievement.
Absolutely. Thank you, Teresa. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break and then we're going to come back. And I want these ladies to share with you some of the services and things that they have available for you to be able to kind of find that balance, whether it be finding that balance professionally or on a personal note. So we'll be right back. we are back. This is Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine, elevating your mind, body, and spirit. I tell you, I love that commercial, Mupo TV. Okay, big ups to Michelle Mupo and Mupo TV. This got us dancing in our seat, I tell you, every time. So we are here, we are talking with Stephanie and Teresa about getting in alignment, that spiritual alignment, and what it feels like when we're out of whack, as well as some of the things that we can do, some of the things that we do to just find ourselves in alignment, being able to breathe and being able to really feel your heart. Right, because sometimes we're all stuck up in here, and we're not really feeling what's going on, with our heart. We're not listening to maybe that heartbeat. Maybe it's going a little too fast for us, right? And what does that mean when our heart's going too fast? That means that we got blood pressure issues, and we got a lot of other underlying things that could be happening on the inside. So definitely tap in and just really take a moment just to be still and just to listen to yourself, listen to your body, and, kind of calm those thoughts out of the head. I think that really is going to help you to find that balance. So these ladies, they are contributing writers for Phoenix Fitness Fanatics. They have some amazing content in the magazine. They are also in the Own It magazine as well, with some amazing content. And I want them to share with you some of their products and services that they have to offer that you can maybe get tapped into if you are trying to up level and get to the other side of some things. So Stephanie, go ahead and share with the audience a little bit of what you got going on.
Well, as I mentioned, I have a writing and editing business, and one of the parts of that is I have a book that is out, The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Clean Living. It's small, it's 45 pages. It is designed for people that are not used to following these conversations of, oh, I don't need to worry about chemicals. Oh, I don't need to worry about what I put in my body or how I clean my house. My house is germ-free. What more can I do for myself? Well, really, a lot of those germs that you're killing are germs that we need in our bodies to help balance and attack some of the other germs. The chemicals that are in so many of our products, they've been banned in Europe. So why does the U.S. want these things in our bodies? So pretty much my book is helping you get in tune with your body, discovering where things are clogging up or getting bogged down, and helping you eliminate those symptoms through the things that you put in your body or the things that you do. Believe it or not, deep breathing is actually a cleansing activity for your whole body. When you take those deep breaths in, the oxygen is helping get the blood moving, and so nothing's going to be building up as fast. Yoga and stretching, those are ways to keep the tension out of your body. Tension causes inflammation. Inflammation causes heart problems. So everything's really intertwined. And when you start feeding your body organic foods and using natural cleaning products, you're keeping those chemicals out of your body. Excuse me. You're cleaning your insides, you're doing everything you need to, and that's going to help you live well and live long and live happy and be able to focus on yourself. Even like the grounding, going outside barefoot, that's going to help with your whole body. There's just so many things. We don't need to get stuck in the fast food cycle and the processed foods, even if sometimes people make only processed foods at home. You've got to get those clean vegetables in, those clean fruits. If it's in your mind where you're clogged up, I can help you by helping you write a chapter for an anthology or write your own story or something to help you get those bad things out of your head. Yesterday, I actually had a meltdown at the mall, and one of the employees was like, why don't you, because I had a meltdown because I wanted to try to go down the escalator again. I haven't been able to go down an escalator in years. And she's like, just write down all your fears on a piece of paper and throw that paper away, and those fears will be gone. We'll see. When you've been pushed down escalators for years, I'm not sure if it's going to be that easy for me, but it's worth a try. If you're upset at somebody, write down why you're upset at them and throw that paper away or burn it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Release it. That is great. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Stephanie. And Teresa, what about you? I know you've got some amazing things going on as well.
Uh, well, as I said, I can help people connect to their heart, and by connecting to their heart, they're not only connecting to their physical body, but they're getting their heart and their brain together and on the same page. And I think it's important because we don't really connect to our heart because our heart just happens. We have a heartbeat. But what's really interesting is that your heartbeat is unique to you. Even though majority of the people have the same heart rhythm, which is the normal sinus rhythm, we have our own unique heartbeat. That's actually our identification. It's really who we are. And right now, the government is actually, with security, is looking into using our heartbeat as our identification rather than using our eyes. So that's a story for another time, but it shows you how important our heart is and our heartbeat. Our heart is also the seat of who we are. It's the seat of our soul. It's that inner knowing. And it has nothing to do with religion. It doesn't matter what you believe. It's just that there is a power higher than us. We know we're not the highest power. Doesn't matter what that power is. But when you connect to your heart, you connect to that. When you connect to your heartbeat, you connect to the beat of your life. You connect to that inner piece of you, that self of who you are. And once you learn your heartbeat, and you could feel that heartbeat simply by putting your hand over your heart and breathing, you could get your heart and your head on the same page. And what that means is when you're connected to your heart, you're allowing yourself time to process information and emotions. And our heart actually has a brain. Our heart has more neuroreceptors than the brain does. So there's actually three brains in our body. There's our brain in our head, which is the traditional brain, the brain in our heart, and the brain in our stomach. And really, all those three brains really work together to give us the best human experience possible. So, if we get our heart and our head on the same page, then the gut starts to follow suit because our heart, when we process emotions through our heart, we sit with it. It gives us time to come up with an answer. The brain is a programmed response. So if your mouth waters every time you see chocolate, that's a brain response. And it's always going to be the same until you change it. And you change that by connecting into your heart, by sitting with that, and by saying, how do I want to feel? Or how am I feeling right now? And that's fine when we have good, happy emotions. Heart and brain work together very easily. The good feeling hormones like dopamine uh, get secreted in our body. We feel good. But what happens with emotions that aren't so great? Supposing you lose your job, supposing something happens. We all get sad. There's nothing wrong with being sad. It's just we've been conditioned not to feel that. We always have to put on a happy face. Well, if you could sit with those emotions, the first thing is, am I in physical danger? If you are, then your brain needs to kick in. You need those stress hormones to get out of that situation. That's survival. But we haven't had that for many, 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 true, I guess, hundreds or whatever of years since the Stone Age. We're not in fight or flight. We're not in physical danger, but our brain reacts the same way. So when we take emotions into our heart and we could sit with them, number one, am I in danger? No, I'm not in physical danger. Number two, could I sit with this emotion? I'm feeling sad. Okay, what's wrong with feeling sad? I'm allowed to feel sad. Everybody is. It's a normal response. We don't need to cover it up. I'm feeling sad because of X, Y, or X, Y, and Z. So, what do I want to do with that sadness? I'm going to sit with it for a little while. And that's where being quiet comes in, to sit and to process things and to say, it's okay to feel sad. I don't have to cover that up. And unfortunately, in the medical profession for over 30 years, I've seen people trying to cover up those emotions. You feel sad, get an an antidepressant. Well, no, that's not always the answer. You may need something to jumpstart you if you can't get out of bed, if you can't function. But most of us, the sadness is just that something happened. We need to recognize that. And once we recognize it, then we could either come up with a solution to either change that, or if we can't, to let it be and to recognize it as the state that we're in, and then to move on from there. There's nothing wrong with being sad. There's nothing wrong with showing our emotions. And by doing that, we take the brain into alignment with our heart. And the brain says, okay, this isn't an emergency for survival. The stress hormones, that's epinephrine, norepinephrine, cortisol, don't need to be released. And it's those stress hormones that really play havoc with our body. Those are the same, these are the same. Epinephrine and adrenaline are used in an emergency when a heart stops. But in excess, it could also stop your heart. And that's what broken heart syndrome is, where it mimics a heart attack, the heart stops. But it's not really damage to the heart. It's not a heart attack. It's just an oversecretion of stress hormones. Cortisol plays havoc with everything, with our pancreas, with our insulin, with our ability to lose weight, thyroid gland, pituitary gland. I mean, you name it. Cortisol, in some instances, it's good in small amounts. But when we start over secreting because of stress and then we run out of cortisol, we get what's termed in functional medicine is like adrenal dysfunction. Then we begin to have even more problems. So it's all about going back to the heart, sitting with your heart, knowing your heartbeat, okay, knowing who you are, connecting your heart to your brain, processing emotions, and knowing that it's okay not to feel great every day. We don't have to feel good every day. We don't have to be happy. We don't have to be running around like everything is wonderful in the world. We could really take those emotions, and once we have those emotions, we could then put our body back in balance because our body's not fighting ourselves and it's not fighting our brain. So I hope that makes sense to everybody. People could work with me individually and I could help them get into this alignment, get them to recognize their heart. It doesn't matter the condition, even if somebody has a quote unquote heart condition. I hate to say disease because disease denotes helplessness and we're never helpless. There's always something we can do to help ourselves. So I could work with people regardless of their condition, what they want to learn, whether it be things like yoga, meditation. I'm going to be putting together an online course that's going to be a whole holistic view of not only heart health, but what health is in general and how we could work with ourselves and our health to be in charge of our health and well-being, because self-empowerment is so important. We really need that empowerment. We have it right here in our heart. We just have to learn how to use it. I'll stop talking.
Oh, that was excellent, Teresa. Excellent. So, everybody, if you would like to reach out to either one of these young ladies, I'm going to go ahead. Stephanie, go ahead and just tell everybody how they can get in touch with you, and I'll bring it up as well.
My email is writebysteph@gmail.com. I also have a brand new website, www.writebysteph.com. If you're in the US, you can call me. 314-952-7525. And then you can also find The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Clean Living in my other book, The ABCs of Living Independently When You're Older or Frail, on Amazon and through my website. There's links on there. And then I'm going to have a new book coming out next month, The Dangers of AI to Journalism and Creative Writers.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Stephanie. And I appreciate you joining me today. And Teresa, please share with everyone how they can get in touch with you. And I'll go ahead and bring that up as well.
Okay, I have a website. It's www.wellbeinggal, all spelled out, WELLBEINGGAL.com. And I also wrote a book. It's called Heal Your Heart from Within. And it gives you the knowledge and the tools for self-empowerment. So I go into everything. The different types of breathing are in there, meditation, intuition, perception. My book can be found on either balboapress.com or amazon.com. And it's also on the Books A Million website. And if anybody wants to buy it through Walmart, it's also available there. So, and Barnes & Noble. So it's kind of interesting that I was going through something and I found my book in Walmart and Books A Million. So it's good to know. Apparently it's selling, and that's why it's on those websites. And it's very easy. It's a little over 100 pages. It's written for the layperson. And I actually wrote it for my patients during the year 2020, which I call the year of uncertainty, because my patients, because healthcare providers didn't have all the answers, and we never really do have all the answers. That's just a myth. I put this together to really empower my patients, because I had been giving this information for over 24 years. And now it was coming where they really needed to be able to know how to take care of themselves, how to trust themselves, and how to get their body in balance.
Thank you so much, Teresa. So I want to thank you ladies so much for joining me today. I tell you, when we get on here, it's like the time just goes by so quick, but you both are so amazing. I want to thank you for just your contribution to Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine. And those of you who have not subscribed yet to Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine, definitely subscribe so you can see some of the amazing content from both these ladies, as well as some other really awesome subject matter experts that we have on the team as well. So ladies, thank you once again for joining me. Thank you for being part of the family. We will see you guys next time. Everybody take care.
Take it to the next level.